This is Abbotsford, which is the home of the first masonic superstar author, Sir Walter Scott, who was a Freemason himself and whose chivalric and romantic novels inspired members of royalty and people of literary merit, ranging from the King and Queen to Robbie Burns and Oscar Wilde, those kind of people to come and see him. Now, I say being a romantic is brilliant. It's just called having high ideals. Aim for the stars.
Indian, yes. A mixture.
So it's a combination of an Indian gauntlet combined with a European
broadsword blade.
I think actually it's the other way around. I think this is a one piece, but I think they've given it Indian style decoration. Maybe it's Indian inspired or something, and maybe it's for someone who can't hold a sword that way, but they could hold it this way. You know.
Gallery work. I'm not sure what that means.
That's an interesting weapon.
I quite like that gargoyle.
He's not having a good time, is he? Lots of these weapons, I think, are just ornamental.
That's it. That's the handle, isn't it? Yeah, that's it.
This is like a gauntlet, which is also a sword. Maybe it's supposed to damage yourself.
It was hers, and it was the one that she was holding when she went to her death.
Oh, wow.
So this roof, did you say it's based on Roslin Chapel?
Yes, the ceiling,
Yeah, the ceiling.
the carvings in the ceiling. Yeah, it's all the finials and cornices.
There's Mary at the end.
Yes.
Some of them actually remind me of some of the bosses. Is that what they're called?
Bosses, that's right.
Yeah. At there's actually Norwich Cathedral's got a lot of these peculiar things. And you look at them, and you think it must be a story they knew at the time. You know, so our education is limited on their stories. So you see someone with killing a dragon, and you can kind of guess that. But there's minstrels, you know, playing, and there's
Yeah. Oh yes, they're everywhere. But then there's
So this is where Sir Walter Scott wrote his best-selling books. I like these Doric pillars on here, and we have some busty women, and you can see by the wood that naughty people have been touching those. It's lovely, and you've got this. There's a bust of him himself. I don't know whether he would have had a bust of himself on the side. Yeah, I mean, I would if I had this house. I'd have big statues of me everywhere. Isn't this lovely? So we have Henry Cornelius Agrippa, but we also don't know this Agrippa. On the Vanity of the Sciences, but we have the 3 books of occult. Raymond Lilly, astrology, the history of sorcery and apparitions, various Rosicrucian texts. On apparitions and I think just there we have Michael Scottis's book on hand reading. Good Scottish sorcerer. Treatise on Dreams in the Visible World.
Yes.
But I think
Live your life.
But I think this is the ideal memento mori for Sir Walter Scott. So he's actually got a one of Robert the Bruce there. With it says it on there. So
Somebody outside.
Oh, where just anything I think that tidies things and tidies it's just
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's such a relief.
it was most probably the leg of a small rock tattoo in a cave in an interesting
Just, yes.
cemetery, and the tombstone contains ashes as opposed to a body. Oh, so it's like look at but very little information, unfortunately. We'd need about 20 curators to do 20 years.
I'm here at Abbotsford, which is the home of Sir Walter Scott, who's really the Dan Brown of his day. He was a Freemason, he loved mysterious things, he wrote novels which were so inspiring that the greatest literary figures and famous historians, members of the royal family came to his home here in the Scottish borders to see his amazing collections and to meet the man himself. What I like about him is that he's a rags to riches story. This is the first home in Scotland to have gas lamps fitted. So he embraced technology, he studied alchemy, and here's a quote from Sir Walter Scott that I find quite inspiring. He said that for success, attitude is equally as important as competence or skill. I always thought that was quite an important quote to remember. Let's have a look at some of these gardens.